joining the show at 10:30. Chris Stewart, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide at 11, got his thoughts on the big news today that the Alabama basketball team, they're going to take on the Auburn men's basketball team October 22nd down at the BJCC. What's really cool about this, if the game is sold out, that both teams could get up near six figures to put towards their NIL. So that's a big-time deal as the IBOB is coming in October.
So that will be that's a Thursday?
Thursday night.
Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, we got some great games that weekend.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's third Saturday in October.
Well, this would be...
Or actually, it'll be this
second Saturday. LSU at Auburn.
Uh-huh.
Texas A&M at Alabama. Tennessee at South Carolina. Ole Miss at Texas.
It's a good weekend.
Cool. That's a pretty helmet game.
It sure is. So Alabama and Auburn basketball, they will have an exhibition there at the BJCC on October the 22nd. Meanwhile, Alabama football, they announced earlier today, 2029, they will play their earliest ever football game in the history of the Alabama Crimson Tide. That will be against Louisiana Tech, August the 25th, 2029 in Tuscaloosa.
Little baby Tua.
Be 2.5 years old.
2.5 years old? Oh, man, that's going to be so hot.
Yeah.
So hot.
And speaking of Tua Tagovailoa, some news out of Atlanta, Georgia, Conrad. Mm-hmm. Will he be starting the final exhibition game?
Yeah, so I guess there's the good and the bad of this. The good is he will be starting on Friday in their final preseason game.
Okay, that's good.
Let me find the report that I sent you last night.
No.
That was... Just tell me, Landrum, if you've ever heard this phrasing before, because I hadn't. So this was reported by Ian Rappaport, who's one of the biggest NFL reporters out there. He reported yesterday that Michael Penix Jr. has become the favorite to start over Tua as the Falcons' QB1. This is what Ian Rappaport said. Tua's performance in the preseason and practices have made it impossible for Atlanta to name him the starting quarterback.
He was 2 of 5 for 22 yards, and he fumbled. What's wrong with that?
I've just never heard that language of, you're so bad, it's impossible for us to let you go out there and play for us.
That's what Lane Kiffin's telling his tight end room.
On a positive note,
I'm going to jail over getting a tight end.
Congratulations to Tua, because I saw that him and his wife announced that they're having a third kid.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
I wonder if we'll be at the same hospital. Honey, we got to move to Atlanta for a couple of months.
You won't cut the cord for Paige, but you'd be willing to do it for Tua's baby.
Absolutely. Whatever he needs. But yeah, that's on the football front. That's you never want to hear that. So.
No, Penix, it seems like that's his job.
Maybe done for Mr. Tua. But he's making, I think, $55.5 million this year, courtesy of the Dolphins.
Is he living Flowery Branch? Has he moved residence, or does he still have the place there in South Florida?
I don't know.
This is kind of your job.
There.
This is
I know.
Lean on you for Tua's personal stuff.
Did his family move down? I'm talking about his immediate family.
Oh, I thought at one time, they
moved to Miami, I thought.
I thought the immediate.
They picked up the Alabaster home and moved it to South Florida.
I remember reading that and understanding that, yeah. Which I think is great. My son was playing quarterback for the Dolphins.
I'd want to be right next door to him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you kidding? You'd have to shoo me out of the house.
So, little less than 24 hours after the SEC announced a ban on athletes that have come from the NFL, NBA, WNBA, it was reported this morning that now the penalties have been made known. Per bylaw 4.4.3, if you violate the policy that the SEC laid out yesterday in their press release, you will have a half-season suspension for the head coach, SEC voting privileges revoked on business matters for the school in violation of the rule, a hefty fine, which is 50% of that sport's annual operating budget. For the purpose of this conversation, LSU in 2025 had a budget of around $52.3 million just for football. So it would be 50% of that would be the fine if LSU football violates this policy. Now, the league retains the right to levy any other penalties by Greg Sankey and or the SEC presidents or chancellors if they deem it necessary. So there's a little latitude there. for Commissioner Sankey and the rest of the SEC.
Yeah, but I think the latitude and just the penalties that were there was a lot of thought in trying to deter this kind of action in the future. I would say, when else is this going to happen? Because this was the perfect window after a rule was just passed. But I'm going to stop asking that question when it comes to intercollegiate athletics, because every day we're presented with something new that we didn't think about.
So the timeline, if you're looking, okay, what's next? There's a temporary restraining order that will end. It's a 10-day temporary restraining order. Monday in Baton Rouge, all of these players, the 33 players that went to this judge originally in Baton Rouge asking for temporary restraining order, the permanent restraining order hearing will take place in Baton Rouge. If you remember back to the Charles Bediako case, Bediako was given a temporary restraining order. Then he was going for a permanent restraining order. And guess what happened? The NCAA won that. So Charles Bediako was not eligible to play for Alabama any longer. So on Monday, most people believe that these guys will be granted a permanent injunction so that they can play. That will then move to the SEC and in Birmingham. What will the office do? Because if LSU rosters these individuals, because the rosters have to be set literally a day before the season begins. If they set these rosters and they're on it, they're in violation of the new SEC policy and the bylaw. What does the SEC do? Lawyers for LSU get involved. Does the SEC, as soon as they get the permanent injunction on Monday, do they go to the federal court here in Birmingham, just like the Big 12 did in Dallas, to go after Texas Tech when Tech was saber-rattling and saying, hey, we're going to sue your butt. You're not going to go after us. Remember Ken Paxton, the AG at Texas? He got involved. But the Big 12 said, okay, that's cool. Y'all can say what you want to. We're going to sue your butt too. So we're going to go to the feds. We're going to get them on our side. And Birmingham and the SEC could be the same course of action moving forward, and it could happen as early as Monday.
Well, that happens on Monday, but then we wait until the deadline on Friday to see if those players in question are actually on the official roster.
Correct.
Which would just be a whole lot of fun, too. Tough spot for Lane, but Lane, I'm trying to think about this as a rational human being, and I realize who we're dealing with, the personality that Lane Kiffin is. Not that I disagreed. I would have done the same thing, but I was thinking, if you want to die on that hill, are you worried about working relationship with other folks in your conference, the conference commissioner? And the answer to that is a big fat no. You're not. You're not worried about anybody else.
It was unanimous. If you're wondering, it wasn't 15-1. LSU wasn't the only one. Everybody voted for this new policy. I was told behind closed doors.
I don't like it, but yes.
Mizzou, Kentucky, Arkansas, Texas, and LSU all had serious questions about this policy. But as we all know with the SEC, you can kick and scream, rant and rave, yell at the top of your lungs behind closed doors. But at the end of that, when those doors open up, everyone is going to sing Kumbaya and be on the same page. That's why you will never see, well, the vote was 14-2, or it was 13-3. It was 16-0 in favor of the policy.
Since Kiffin's calling all the shots in Louisiana, do we have pep band outside of District Courthouse?
Well, did you see the clip of Will Wade? Did you see that, Conrad? Will Wade was in the courthouse when R.J. Lewis got his restraining order. The former St. John's and the former Boston Celtic got his restraining order. Guess who was right there hugging him? Will Wade. Inside the courthouse.
I didn't. Okay, so I saw the clip of him celebrating after the ruling. I did not realize that was Will Wade.
Will Wade.
We beat it, kid. We beat it.
Will Wade was hugging him. What's Will Wade going to do with his roster now that the SEC has ruled that all these guys are ineligible?
I think he's hoping they'll just focus on Lane and completely forget about that stuff now.
Hello, Globetrotters. Yes, we are looking for some games.
So this is a multifaceted approach by LSU. This is not just a football thing. I mean, Will Wade has – we talked about this 3 weeks ago. He had 4 players on the roster. 4. I haven't been to their website recently to see if that's improved, but 4. That's all he had.
Anybody checked in on baseball, Jay Johnson? A little bit of a slide last year. I don't know. He could be getting desperate. Are we having the same conversation?
But I am curious if LSU would deem that a good business practice to sue the Southeastern Conference.
But this is going to set the course. Maybe we get a vote by Congress. But this is going to set the course for the rest of the calendar sports in the calendar year, right? In the SEC. Which is why they included the WNBA, the NBA, and the other language.
Right. The Big Ten did not put that language in there unless it's buried in something that was not reported yesterday. But the SEC went a step further than what the Big Ten did.
I don't even know anymore.
I don't think anybody does. Meanwhile, you got one of the attorneys.
I just want to play the games and pretend that these guys aren't all overpaid.
And Ryan Doughton, who is part of the attorney group that is working with the athletes in these Louisiana lawsuits, he told the media last night that the SEC's actions put the NCAA in contempt of multiple court orders. It is cartel-like conduct when the NCAA conferences attempt to create their own spur-of-the-moment rules in response to courts enjoining those rules at the NCAA level. So then the question is this a contempt of court by the SEC? Now, the SEC is a separate entity and not a party to the actual lawsuit in Louisiana. The SEC is not an agent of the NCAA, and an antitrust matter is much harder of an argument. So as long as the conferences, and that includes the Big Ten and the SEC, they don't work together or in collusion to bring about this. The SEC also could rightfully argue in court that any of these players could still play in other places to make money. This is not, you have to play here, like you're stopping my client from earning a living or earning NIL. They can go play for Connecticut.
You don't have to move anywhere. You don't have to move outside of the state. You want to go play at Louisiana Lafayette? You want to go to Monroe?
Yeah.
Sure, Brian. I'll go ahead and tell you, Brian, he will take you right now.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I think Brian
Coach Cam Blankenship will give you the tour of the campus when you get there. You can go there.
I mean, I don't know if Mountain West has anything, but Sacramento State, they've proven a place where a lot of people like to
Has Dan Mullen closed the doors on UNLV's camp? We got a game this weekend. It's never too late.
Supposedly the ACC, the ADs met today, and they said that, yes, they're trending in the direction. The presidents of the ACC have to vote on it. They will have the same policy, and I think the Big 12 will too. So all the Power 4 leagues.
Oh, that's sweet. That's cute. Well, thanks, ACC. These guys don't want to come and play in your conference.
Yeah. And we already know that Notre Dame officials, they have communicated to both the SEC and the Big Ten that the school is aligned with the prohibition of signing players from the NFL.
Meanwhile, Sacramento State is waving their hand going, hello.
I think there's plenty of schools that would be all for it.
We have a baseball team for another month. Come on.
Yep. Meanwhile, according to CBS Sports, LSU proactively recruited multiple NFL hopefuls to sue the NCAA in hopes of winning the right to return to college football. This is from the direct report from CBS Sports. Kiffin and the Tigers reached out to multiple players on NFL rosters or the representation in an effort to get them to bring a lawsuit against the NCAA and return to the school. This includes some of the players who ended up in the Louisiana lawsuit, which sources have pointed out wasn't tried in Baton Rouge by accident. They're going back to that same judge looking for a permanent injunction on Monday.
I just want to put together maybe a collage of all the judges that have heard cases over the past 2 years across this country. Who was it? Claudia, what was she? Claudia Wilkes. Was that House?
Yes. Claudia Wilkin.
Claudia Wilkin.
Mm-hmm.
That was House. We had Judge Roberts. We had Judge Pruitt. We've had Judge golly. Who was the guy in Pittsburgh, Mississippi? Trinidad's judge. You remember his name? Older fella.
I can't remember him.
I'm going to put those together. 205-834-9450. Michael says the SEC should just tell the lawyers and the judges to pound sand and drag it out. Is the SEC in a position to tell lawyers and judges to pound sand?
I would think they would be more inclined to go to a judge and ask for the help needed to make sure that their rules, that their membership. And so here's the other thing. When the SEC goes to court and you say, well, our membership voted unanimously to pass this, including the school that these players are trying to go play for.
Yeah.
So this is not like this was a 9-7 vote. This was unanimous. So how can we not police our own schools when the school that actually voted for the policy is now the one that's going to try to play players that we deem illegal?
You know what, Paul, he interesting here. He asked the question, doesn't the fact that a 16-0 vote, including your own school voting for it, at least if you're an attorney for the SEC, do you not cite that?
Well, that's what I just said.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would be one of the first things I said.
Yeah.
Like, how in the world? It was unanimous. The school that these kids want to go play for, they voted for it. So if you had a problem with it, then you should have voted no. Or abstain, or out of protest, or walk out of the room.
All I can see is the vote total here, and I see what you voted for and what you didn't vote against.
But it goes back to what Trey Wallace said about 30 minutes ago. You were trying to go to war with the Southeastern Conference over a backup tight end that wasn't even good enough to play for the Cleveland Browns, the worst franchise in the National Football League.
That's why I've maintained this has got to be about something more than this particular player for Lane Kiffin. I want to know what it is.
You made $72.4 million as a member of the Southeastern Conference. That's the check that you were given in Destin, Florida. Are you really willing to piss that away to go sign a fourth-string backup tight end? It makes no sense.
Mm-mm. I hope he was worth it or is worth it.
Maybe it is a basketball play. Maybe it's for Will Wade. I don't know.
There's something else in play here that we're not getting.
Or Lane Kiffin was so worried that Pete Golding was about to get two of his former players back. And maybe he was trying to block that.
Or Lane's been on social media and he got back in the spotlight and people are talking about him and he can't stop. And apparently since he has the keys and nobody can tell him what to do.
Yeah. Well, Abide Roofing, they have helped me out in the past. They are helping Conrad out as we speak. He had a tree fall on his roof. The number to Abide Roofing is 205-577-7338. So whether your roof has been damaged by one of these recent storms in the summer, or if it shows signs of age, or you just simply want the peace of mind to know that comes with the quality roof over your head, call Travis Lloyd and the outstanding roofing team at Abide Roofing. They can give you a free estimate. They just want to give you an honest look at your top of your house. And if there is a problem, loose shingles, take care of it. If it's a full roof replacement like I had to have, they can deal directly with your insurance company. I trusted Abide, so did Conrad. You should too. From your first call to the final inspection, Abide Roofing always puts you first. Number again, 205-577-7338 or abideroof.com. We continue on this Wednesday edition of Three Man Front. We'll do some Pat Ponders a little bit later this hour. This is Jock's Three Man Front.
Welcome back into Three-Man Front. Pat Landrum and Conrad with you here until 2 o'clock. Still have Pat Ponders coming up here in just a little bit. A lot of things going on today as we continue to keep you updated on what's going on with the SEC, their latest ruling, the punishments laid out for teams bringing professional players or attempting to bring professional players back to the college ranks, as that continues to be the story dominating the sports world right now. Well, we want to tell you about our friends at Big Whiskey's, because not only is Big Whiskey's a place with a ton of great food, they also have plenty of screens for you to catch all the games throughout the football season. Their outdoor patio space with games is also great for family time there on the weekends or weeknights. And now with school back in session, Big Whiskey's wants to help you out because they're offering online ordering and curbside pickup for all of those busy evenings. So go visit our friends at Big Whiskey's. You've got 2 locations you can try over there on Highway 119 at 280 near the Publix, or you can go visit them in Stadium Trace Village there in Hoover. That's our friends at Big Whiskey's.
124 here on the program. If you missed any of our interviews earlier today, Brian Edwards gave you some plays. He gave us 3 plays, matter of fact, free of charge. Just go download the Three-Man Front podcast. Chris Stewart, the voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, talked about Keelan Russell being the number 1 starter for the Tide. Also got his feelings about the exhibition game that was announced this morning, as Auburn and Alabama basketball will be playing on October 22nd. And Trey Wallace trying to make heads or tails of what the heck is going on in college football in this latest situation. And listen, we have had a lot of people ask about this, and I think this will be a good time to do it. If you missed our celebration of Dolly Parton, we played earlier in the program just an incredible rendition of Rocky Top. And we've had so many people text into the show. They've
Even if you hate Tennessee football.
Yeah, I know it might trigger people like Conrad because you hear Rocky Top and it takes you to the third Saturday night.
You can see past it when you hear the angel's voice singing it.
Yes, so we thought it would be worth our tribute to Dolly Parton, who passed away at the age of 80. This is her rendition of Rocky Top.
Top Tennessee. How about you? You pick one. I know you did. Whew. I know he always wants to. Now once 2 strangers climbed old Rocky Top, looking for a moonshine still. Strangers ain't come down from Rocky Top, and some say they never will. Did you know corn don't grow at all on Rocky Top? The dirt's too rocky by far. And that's why all the folks on Rocky Top get their corn from a jar. Oh, Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top, Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Cramped up city life, trapped like a duck in a pen. All I know is it's a dead burn pity. Life can't be simple again. Oh, the Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee.
Just a great version of Rocky Top. Dolly Parton passed away yesterday at the age of 80. It is 1:33. Welcome back in the Wednesday edition of Three Man Front. Let's get to the phone calls. 205-834-9450. Scotty joins us on the program. Hey, Scotty.
Hey, man, how y'all doing today?
We're doing great, man. How are you?
I just wanted to say, man, I'm glad the SEC stepped up and put something in place because, pro players should be able to come back to college. But do y'all think, in y'all's opinion, if LSU does have them on the roster on Friday, that the SEC would try to suspend him and fine them that half of their budget?
It's a great question. I don't know. I don't know if it gets down to it. I'm guessing that any of the penalties that have been put out there, any of those would be up for grabs, I would think, for Greg Sankey in the office. If that does play out, it will be very interesting.
Right. I guess what I'm asking is, could LSU fight it in court or something to try to stop them from putting the penalties on them?
I assume that they could. Yeah, I assume that LSU. I mean, you can try to sue anybody for anything. But maybe I don't know. It's a mess.
It is a mess. But anyway, that's all I got, guys. Y'all doing a great job. Keep it up.
Thank you so much, Scotty. Hey, and this just
walking across the bridge as we're building it.
This is huge, and this could help the SEC. The NFL, according to sources, will provide clarity to clubs later today regarding league rules governing player eligibility that have been in place and remain unaltered. A player that goes back to college this season will be prohibited from signing with an NFL team this year. A player signed to an NFL contract who is subsequently cut is a free agent. He may sign with another NFL club, the CFL, or return to college, but that player is considered a free agent and will not be subject to a future draft.
Yeah.
So you can't go back and improve your draft stock.
Correct.
Right.
But I guess you could light it up and then someone would sign you as a free agent.
But most of these cats, don't you think they're coming back because they're gonna get a quick hit of money? That's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they were undrafted guys anyways.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't make it now, what makes you think you're going to go back and then all of a sudden?
But the argument that their
you?
attorneys and I would make this for my client would be, well, look, these guys, they never would have gone had they known that this rule was going to be in place and they were going to be allowed to play another year. Right? Whether that's the truth or not. I mean, your client might have said, I thought I was a can't miss, and I was surely going to make a roster. But that would be my argument if I was an attorney, but I'm not.
Okay, so it is interesting because, we are talking about semantics here. But Pete Thamel is reporting that the vote yesterday in Birmingham, it was unanimous. 15 schools voted for it. 1 school, LSU, abstained. And if you've been on a committee, if you've been in politics, if you've been in a fraternity, sorority, whatever the case may be, you understand Robert's Rules of Order.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens if you abstain? It goes to the winning side of the vote. It counts as a yay.
It does. But going back to if you're in a courtroom and you're reading over that,
you say, well, we
bringing
abstained.
that in to support your
argument.
argument.
We didn't vote yay. We abstained.
No. And okay.
This is exactly what Pete Thamel's reporting. In the formal SEC president's vote today to confirm the penalties, the legislation involved banning the NFL players. There ended up being a 15-0 vote. LSU abstained from voting. There was an initial vote of 16-0 on Tuesday. So let me go back. So yesterday was 16-0, but the penalties was 15-0.
Okay.
You get it? I mean,
yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
I know it's semantics. Yesterday, LSU voted, and that would not help them ultimately in a court of law because it was 16-0 yesterday when the policy was adopted. The penalties, meanwhile, they abstained. It was 15 to love. So
205-834-9450. Pat says, thank you for playing Dolly's Rocky Top. I'm an East Tennessee girl living in Alabama for 40 years. I love this state, but Tennessee will always be my home, and losing Dolly was like losing some of my history. Thank you for sharing, Pat.
And just right down the road from where Dolly Parton grew up in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, is where the song Rocky Top was written, in a hotel room there on the Strip in Gatlinburg.
Yeah, how about that? Burr, big Alabama fan, says the absolute only time that I've enjoyed hearing that song. Rest in heaven, Dolly. Thank you, Burr. Have you seen the Dolly cover of Stairway to Heaven?
I have not seen that.
I saw that on Twitter, I think, last night. It was incredible. It was the whole 7 minutes. It was awesome.
Awesome.
Did you see the letter that Eminem put on social media that he had gotten from Dolly?
That was so cool.
It was very cool.
Yeah.
When he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, she sent him a note, and it was very, very poignant.
Yeah, it was like, I've never met you before, but you just need to know how much you've touched people's lives, and like, I know you've had a hard life, but like, you know, just keep going and doing your. It was so cool.
Like Dolly,
so
but
cool.
but that was to Eminem and other people that were in the business. But she was that way with everybody. Just went out of her way to just be nice to people and to love on people and make them feel special. We could all take a note from Dolly. I'm so pumped to see Keelan Russell play week 2 live. If Kentucky wins, Ryan, Darren's friend, is wanting to shave his head. If Bama wins, what should I make Ryan do? Sing Rocky Top? Shave his head?
Shave his
Conrad,
head.
you decide.
Sounds like a double shaved head bet here. That's always a winner.
I got to see, but.
Okay, what's shaving your head
now,
or having to dye your hair?
If he's got a full head of hair.
Yeah.
Okay, shaving the head. But what if he's only working with a few
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
stragglers up there?
Then he should have to dye it. If he's the Kentucky fan, he should have to dye it crimson if Alabama wins.
Crimson?
Yeah. Just a little reminder.
All right, Darren. Conrad has ruled. The Osborne brothers made Rocky Top famous. They were from Leslie County, Kentucky, which was also the home of Tim Couch. Someone was asking about the Shirley Q. Liquor version. Don't have that one. Conrad, someone recommending for the bet, the best is to allow the winner to shave one eyebrow of the loser, thus making the losers shave their other to match. Double punishment.
Ooh, that is
Would you
good.
just draw one on?
I guess so. Yeah, that. Oh, that's a good one.
You really don't realize.
You can't hide that one. You cannot hide that one.
You really don't realize the role that an eyebrow plays on your face until something happens to that eyebrow.
Yeah, and Sharpie's not covering that up. I like that. Yes, eyebrows gone. Do it. That's
Ken in
evil.
Minnesota sent from the Jocks app. United States flag flying in my front yard, flying at half mast in honor of Dolly.
Yeah, the president announced yesterday that all institutions in the federal government will have half-mast flags for the next week because of Dolly.
Coming up next, 5 questions laid out from Pat. We'll do Pat Ponders and have some other fun as well.
Something big is coming on September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day arrives with massive deals, exclusive deals, and all-day celebration built for sports fans. The countdown has begun. All roads lead to Game Day. The DraftKings Sports app is now live in all 50 states. That means Alabama, from Texas to California to Florida. Every fan is in on the excitement. One app, every sport, all 50 states. DraftKings Game Day is yours. Remember the date, September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day is the kickoff to a new season, a new era, and the biggest day in sports history. Get ready to celebrate. New DraftKings customers sign up with this code JOX945. Spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code JOX945. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions do apply. $50 every 7 days via click-to-claim issued. in non-withdrawable predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. Terms dkng.co/predictions promo. Nationwide based on sportsbook predictions and free-to-play sports context availability varies by state.
No predicting the questions that Pat's about to ask me and Conrad. Pat ponders on the way next.
Let's finish the show today with a strong Pat Ponders, or at least I'll try to make it strong. This is Pat Ponders.
It's always strong.
So strong. Know what you're thinking. Tell me what's on your mind.
It's time for Pat Ponders.
All right, question number one. American legend Dolly Parton passed away yesterday at the age of 80. The East Tennessee native loved the Vols, and her rendition of Rocky Top, as we've played a couple times today, is iconic. If you were a Tennessee football, would you honor Dolly with something on their uniforms? And if so, what would you recommend?
Couldn't you do a silhouette of Dolly on that uniform? And people would know. That hair.
See, that's what I was thinking.
A
Like you could almost do like an
microphone.
outline of hair
Yeah.
or something, or like a. Ooh. I don't know. Or you could almost do like I imagine she has probably like a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, so you could maybe you put a star with this a Dolly or DP on it. I would think they'd do something.
Or just
would.
that cursive, that iconic Dolly script.
Mm-hmm. I could see that on a helmet.
I would see that on a
yeah.
helmet. And just simply
Like
just
a
says Dolly.
like a sticker on the back of the helmet. That
Yeah,
just says
Dolly. And the O in Dolly's a heart.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that.
That's good. Yeah. I think they'll do.
I hope they do that.
Yeah, I think they'll do something.
I think they would too. Probably.
They better.
Question number 2. We can all agree that Lane Kiffin enters the 2026 season with the most pressure amongst new SEC coaches at a new school. But how would you rank the other 4 new SEC head coaches when it comes to pressure to succeed in year 1? Pete Golding, Alex Golish, Ryan Silverfield, John Summerall. How would you rank them, with 1 being the most pressure, 4 being the least? Golding, Golish, Silverfield, Summerall.
It's Pete Golding. Not entirely fair, but you do have Trinidad Chambliss and a lot of that first 22 and talent coming back. You're finished last year. So there's that natural expectation you can do it again. So I think he would be first. Feels like John Summerall would be second. Because there's been positive buzz coming out of Auburn, but I've heard more Florida could potentially be the dark horse, 9-3, pretty consistent 8-4. Then I would put Golish and then Silverfield last.
Yeah, Silverfield's definitely. Yeah, he's in a whole different arena than the other guys. He definitely has the least amount of pressure on him. Yeah, see, the Golding thing is interesting to me because I agree with everything you just said. Right, the expectation is you're back in the playoffs and back in a semifinal, competing for a national championship. But then on the other side, I do wonder, like, did he buy himself a little bit of grace just because of how good their run in the postseason was last year, to where it would be a massive disappointment if they didn't make the playoffs again this year. But like, I feel like maybe that kind of bought him some time.
But did it? Because if you come out and you fall, and you think about it this way, if you come and you fall on your face, then they think it was all because of Lane.
Yeah, and he just set you up and you just kind of ran with it. Yeah, I think Golish had, it's kind of, I guess Pete Golding would have the most.
That's a really good question, man. Look at it. He's back and forth.
It is a good question. Summerall and Golish are kind of tied to me because they're both programs that have really high expectations for themselves.
So you have Golding 1.
But Golding, I'll probably go Golding 1, Summerall 2, Golish 3, and Silverfield 4.
I mean, nobody has any expectations for Silverfield.
No, if he wins 4 games.
No, Arkansas fans don't have expectations.
No, but I think Golish, you go 7-5, people will be happy. If Summerall goes 7-5, I think people are still kind of disappointed. Maybe.
Hey, if I'm Silverfield, I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, I was an offensive line coach at Memphis a few years ago, and now I'm the head coach of the school in the SEC. Praise Jesus.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, the final question today comes courtesy of BB, and it's kind of interesting. It's she's going to give you guys some common phrases, and she just wanted to see if you had a guess of where those common phrases came from.
Oh, okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm going to be really bad at this.
Steal someone's thunder. Any idea?
Stealing someone's thunder. That goes back to bootlegging and stealing a whiskey or some shine from somebody.
You got a guess on that one, Conrad?
Oh, man. See, I was going to like...
That's incorrect, by the way, but go ahead.
Thought it was a good guess.
That was a good guess.
Greek mythology.
Okay.
Zeus, thunder.
Okay.
You're big into that, aren't you?
I don't know.
Huh?
Am I?
I feel like you are.
Pharaoh's Egyptian.
English playwright John Dennis invented a thunder machine for his plays, but it was literally stolen by a competing artist.
Okay, I don't like how on the head that is. Really.
No.
White elephant. Where do you think that came from?
The white elephant in the room, that was when there was a circus broker that brokered circus animals trying to sell a whatever you would call them of elephants. An unforeseen rainstorm comes down.
That's
and
creative.
the gray paint that he had tried to disguise the genetically altered albino elephant so he could sell it at regular price.
Okay, it's wrong. What's your guess? Go.
I was going the albino elephant route too, but I was going like a poacher in Africa.
Has to do with Ray
Something
Perkins and
with
Alabama's uniforms in the 80s.
Yeah, sure.
It comes from literally sacred white elephants that ancient Thai kings used to present to their favorites.
Huh.
What about close but no cigar?
That just goes to winning a championship, and you were close, but you don't get cigars to celebrate.
That's a really good one.
See, I was going like a early 1900s dog track mob people are hanging out.
Okay, both of those are really good guess. Close but no cigar was cigars were common prizes in 19th century American fairground carnival games.
Okay.
So if you won,
Look,
you got a
Mom.
cigar.
That's great, Johnny.
Basket case. This one will get you. once I
Basket
tell you.
case.
Somebody went crazy.
Somebody left their child on the doorstep of an orphanage.
Okay, is that your guess?
Yes.
Okay, how about you?
Somebody was trying to weave a basket and it was so difficult they went insane, and so they started calling them a basket case.
Okay. It originated in World War I to describe doughboys coming home limbless after the war.
That's not funny.
Why did you laugh? Why would you laugh?
laughing? Why are you laughing?
That's not funny, but that's not what I was expecting at all.
You're the one who laughs at he can't help it. It's like Tourette's. It's like Tourette's. He cannot help at laughing at things that obviously you should never laugh at. Is it a nervous tick for you?
It's not funny. I just
right,
wasn't
let me-
expecting him to say people coming home limbless.
Originated World War I to describe doughboys coming home limbless from the war. Rumors are some were carried from the front lines in baskets. And he's laughing. He did that himself. We did not set
we
him
didn't.
up.
We didn't.
That was
Thank
a
you
natural reaction.
to all of you who have served our great country and our military. God is great.